Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato. We have a fast main track. Of course, we have the all-weather Tapeta. And every day, that turf course looking better and better. Just about a month away, just about thereabouts, 5 weeks before we're back on the grass.
It is coming, my friend. I believe December 1st, we're going to get back on that green stuff, and we can't wait. We've eagerly anticipated it. We've shown you the pictures of it. Walking ring now is in use behind us. There's a lot to look forward to, and December 26th will be here before we know it as well to kick off that championship meet.
Yeah, doing lots of nice little adjustments around the track here, looking good. We showed you a couple of pictures of the walking ring looking good. We're going to start it off today. We got a $50,000 gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six. We got that 10-race card that's going to kick off in race number 5. And now we'll get right into the first race. It's a mile maiden claimer for 2-year-olds, 12-5. Scratch the number 8, Zach and Jill and Brian put together an early pick 5 ticket. So let's check it out.
We'll go $36 on this one, Ronnie, and we'll get to the opener in a second. The single comes in race 2. Demurely is that one there. And then a 3x3x4 pick 3 to end it. My Big Drama, I think, is loose in race 3. Down inside again. I guess, I lost my long shot today, Ronnie, in the last race, unfortunately. And you can't have 2 long shots, obviously. No. But I do like Frankie's Girl, at which should be a pretty square price. 6 is on the line. I see that now. And then we'll go 4 deep in race 5 with number 2, Dropkick Murphy. We got a stat. I think you've got some interest in there as well. I think a lot of people will have some interest in Dropkick Murphy. John Vincent.
Sorry, Brian, trained by John Vincent. Does an absolute excellent job with his first-time starters. The first race, as I mentioned at the top, it's a mile. It's going to be on that fast track for 2-year-olds. It looks like Hello Jack. The race goes through that horse, goes to the Liz Dobles one after the claim, stretches out to the mile. If they're rallying to finish second, was beaten the neck as the favorite, and that was going 6 furlongs. If you look at the past performances in this race, not one horse in the whole field has tried a mile.
Yeah, it's a good point, Ron, and we'll take a look at a trainer stat for Liz as well. This barn is just so prolific in this kind of arena, and this amps it up even that much more. Off the claim on the dirt right here the past 5 years. That's 33% with a big 247 ROI. The scary thing about Hello Jack, he was the best horse to begin with. Now we go into a barn that just pops with these. This horse should be every bit of 4 to 5, I would think, when the dust settles.
Ridden by Sean Bridgman today. The number 7 horse in here, Conrado, is another trying a mile after responding to the drop down. I thought ran an improved third, going 3/4 of a mile. Hey, it's Jorge Delgado, and he's got the apprentice Jaime Torres in the saddle. So Jaime is riding in great form. He's now 7-pound apprentice. So I'm just playing the percentages here. You got to do a little guesswork to figure out who's going to get the mile.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And I think also, Ron, you would agree with me, the gap behind the 6 is a pretty big one. Anybody's eligible to get up for second.
Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, and this one's going to be about 5 1/2 furlongs on the Tapeta, and these are claimers, fillies and mares 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 12-5 down to $10,000. No scratch, not a lot. There's some scratches on the card, but not a lot of scratches on the card. And Pete Aiello, of course, when we're done, we'll update you with all that situation. Going to kick off our first of 2 pick 4s with this Tapeta sprint. You went with the number 6. Let's start. I think you had this horse a single, Demurely, and this one goes to the Victor Barboza Jr. Bond.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like here. We've got a nice outside attack post. I don't think this horse will drop too far out of it, and we know that you want to be close in these Tapeta sprints. He was chasing 44 for change last time. I think that's why it looks like he maybe was a little further back. We'll take a look at a trainer stat for this daughter of Uncaptured as well for Victor Barboza Jr., and it's a big one. Not a big sample, but it's a big stat. 4 for 9 off the claim on Tapeta. I think Demurely, Ronnie, can kind of watch it all unfold to her inside, and she's going to be tough to deny. 8 to 5 on the morning line, and I'm not even sure you'll get that.
The number 4, Lily Bears, I went where it breaks the inside of the horses, drop it to the 12-5 level. First starts in showing speed and fading, but that was against 35 condition claimers, going 6 1/2 furlongs on the main track. I think Safi Joseph Jr. spots this previous sprint winner where she should be competitive here. So she's got to prove a couple of things today, but it's Safi on the drop. I think this horse might run well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. She's coming in off a layoff. I just wanted to fade her a little bit and try to beat, get out of a chalky exacta because she hasn't done a lot of running of late, and now she comes back on the Tapeta. And I don't know if Safi's just kind of throwing something at the wall to see if it sticks. She does have a win on the Tapeta, but in her form, that seemed like a long, long time ago. That was back in October when we first started getting going on the Tapeta. I just don't know where her form is, and now she's in for 12-5 too.
What'd you see with the 5-4 ever odds, Victor Barboza Jr.?
Yeah, I mean, let's just go with the Victor Exacta here. Miguel Vasquez is going to get aboard, and she's got some solid form. She broke from a bad draw last time, still ran okay at a big number. Excuse me. Now I think with that run behind her and a much better post today, she can make a little dent.
And the number 2 Olympic fencer will try and parry a stalking trip at 5.5 furlongs. They have to track the pace, finish 4th. You know, going 5 furlongs against similar on the Tapeta last half. That's just those horses there. I think, you got to get the 6 in here or the 4. They look like the logical 2, at least on paper. Race number 3 this afternoon. We're going back to a 1-turn mile on the main track. No scratches, jockey changes. These are 3 and up, 12-5. We'll start with your horse in here, My Big Drama, who was going to break from the rail, set the pace last time out.
Yeah, we've talked quite a bit about the apprentice, Jaime Torres, who's now a 7-pound apprentice, as Ronnie just mentioned. He's very, very accomplished for a young rider, and he knows how to read a racing form, at least from what I've kind of gathered early in his career. And I think this horse is loose, and he's shown a penchant to get horses into their races early. He did it with My Big Drama last time on a sloppy track. I don't know if he's going to have to work as hard. I don't see him having to go 47-2 today, and I'm just kind of hoping we'll take a deep breath he doesn't come back to this field. We both had some interesting. I'm going to show you a video of 12 o'clock in a minute, the number 3. But Krypton is dropping to the 12-5 level, getting Lasix today. First start since failing to show much against 50 maiden optional claimers here last December. Todd Pletcher just keeps winning races, no matter what the past performances look like on these horses. He's 20% with this type of layoff. He's getting Lionel Reyes, had a big win for them in the last race yesterday, handling the stretch out to the mile. Now, we know that horse, you put him where you are. I think you got to use him somewhere in your ticket. But let's go watch the number 3, 12 o'clock, who I believe is 8-5 on the morning line. And we're going to see this horse. First, we're going to show the bad start. And we're going to follow this horse. You're going to see the number 4 that day just breaks bad, and it's hard to see now when you got the shot of the head on. And I'm going to follow this horse right until they switch to the pan, because that's what you're going to see. Well, you could see right now that the horse is way far back and just goes there and comes up and closes well. Well, we didn't do it into the pan, but closes well, and I think runs exceptionally well. And if you saw the horse, it was just so wide in the race, and look at this horse coming now. So I just thought even money and just ran a good race there to be second in the field. You're a 12-5 maiden claimer. This isn't an optional claimer graded 3 kind of horse here. That's a big run for that type of horse. You saw it right there. He's coming out of quote-unquote fast races for this group, 12 o'clock, certainly. You don't know what you're going to get from Krypton. To Todd's credit, he's a Hall of Famer for 100 different reasons. He brought that horse back yesterday to win the finale. First time on Tapeta. The horse hadn't run since February. I mean, obviously, Todd can do it all. Doing the same thing, kind of, sort of, here. This horse hasn't run since December. Krypton, both of them, I agree, should be favored.
The horse yesterday fell to his knees at the start and still won. Let's go to race number 4 this afternoon, about a mile 16th. This is on the Tapeta starter optional claimer. Fillies and mares, 3 and up, started for 12.5 or less, or the optional tag of $20,000 in here. Brian, you went with the inside horse in race number 4, and that is Frankie's Girl.
I'm kind of married to this horse. She's been good to me. I do think she's got talent. I think she's been put in some unopportune spots. Now we're going to stretch back out. I think she's going to be a lot closer today. She's been coming out of it too far in her sprint races. She's got okay route form. And I'm just kind of also against Journey to the Moon at what's going to be a very, very short price. So I'm going to try to get a little crafty here and use her on top.
Well, let's go to Journey in the Moon's last video. You're going to see this here, and it was really fun to watch when this happened here. We're going to pick it up going into the far turn. And this is back, and if you listen to the call from Pete, he thought this horse was just exploding. You're going to see this horse do exactly that, just cruises by the field. And I wanted to show that part of it, just why I picked up going into the far turn. It was just like an unbelievable performance where she just, won for fun. They were back. She was back last early on in there and just came on and was incredibly, impressive in this race. So Journey to the Moon, Ronnie Spatz, Romero Mirage named to ride today. And you could just see this performance and just went by and beat everybody.
Like they were tied to a pole.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this was a dominant, devastating performance. And certainly if she runs back that, honestly, if she runs back to any of her last 3 races, she's going to win. She could even regress off those races, and she can win as well. So, you know, she, at the end of the day, I mean, she's something to 5 in here, might even be odds on.
And the horse I do have on top is Don't Mess with Tessa, stepping up the competition, looking for her 3rd consecutive victory, 4th overall under Peter after the driving score at the $10,000 level for Carlos David. Got leading jock Miguel Vasquez going for the hat trick this afternoon. Looks like a major player. You got this one on your ticket, too.
Yeah, she's going to get the acid test today because she's stepping up in class after beating 8s and 10s, and we'll see what she can do against a much tougher group. I'll tell you what, she comes in raging form, though.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket.
It's probably the most beautiful racetrack in the country, to be honest with you.
The background is just beautiful.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the grandstand and the racing.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
The Gulfstream Championship meet has become one of the top events of the year. You could come out on a Wednesday and see a future Preakness winner.
They're off in the Preakness. The Run Happy Santa Anita Derby.
Got the unique 6.5 down the hillside turf course.
A whole lot of great racing here in California.
And we're off.
We have all 3 surfaces here, the only racetrack in the country to have all 3 surfaces. Being close to the ocean, being surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders in history, it's amazing.
It's the prettiest thing you've ever seen. There's no one else has a background like we do.
Welcome back to Gulfstream. Today, Ron and Brian here. 5th race this afternoon is going to be 5.5 furlongs on the fast main track, state-bred 2-year-olds. Let's go to my Rainbow Six ticket, back to my old 43 and 20 today. I'm going to start it with a first-time starter that I really respect the connections. We'll talk about Dropkick Murphy in a little while. 2 deep for me in race number 6 with Feisty, Sarah, and Avatal Hero. Then I got lots of coverage going all the way down in race number 7, but my top pick in there is Queen Cupid. In race number 8, True Breeze and Alpha Blue, and also used the 6 Shakes Your Bones. Now, we're going to go to the last race. You'll see I added the 13. There was some scratches in the race. The 13 got in. Looks like a piece of candy in there. Didn't want to get beat by that horse, so I added it to my ticket, and that moved it up to 43.20 today.
The old pyramid. Boy, stepping out in the first race, and we're going to talk about Dropkick Murphy now, I guess, and I agree with you, John Vincent. Pretty decent first-time starters.
Yeah, and there's a couple of horses by Bouchero in here, and this one is debuting for Johnny with back-to-back bullet workout showing, preparation for his first start. You know, when I did this analysis, he was 5 for 7, 76% with first-time starters. I know that you had the stat here, too, with it.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what it is. It's 5 for 7. It actually knocks down a peg, 5 for 8. He tried one going long yesterday in the finale, and that doesn't bother me that the stat's now 5 for 8 because winning at 2 turns on debut is very, very hard. The other thing with Dropkick Murphy now, John's been shown such an affinity for getting these horses. He actually trained 3rd full out of this unraced dam. John trained the other one that ran, and this one also won on debut for John this year at Tampa Bay Downs. Dropkick Murphy at 3's on the morning line favored, which I agree with. I would think around this horse is going to take plenty of money.
And if you follow John Vincent, who doesn't start a lot of horses and everything, you very rarely see back-to-back bullet workouts in this thing. So he's got this horse, looks like he can run. And as you mentioned, the son of Bouchero. So the other son of Bouchero is the number 5 Spy Hunter. And this one debuts for Jose D'Angelo. Steady work tab showing up at Palm Meadows. The barn is okay with their freshman runners, 23%. MCL Jaramillo named to ride. So it's the old Bouchero exacta for me.
Yeah, and Jose's been popping a little bit with his first-time 2-year-olds. He won the other day, and he's debuted some nice ones. Not a lot to go on here. The dam was 0 for 11. It's her first foal, but a couple of these works do whisper ready. You can see the bullet jumping off the page, that's for sure. And he puts Hyro aboard, and you know, this is a rider that's obviously so adept at getting horses to break out of the gate. I would think Spy Hunter's got some speed, Ronnie.
And what'd you see with Cutie? This one, a son of Shitu.
Yeah, I mean, Fernando Abreu does a good job, and they paid some money for this horse as a 2-year-old. The dam was unraced. It's her first fall, so you don't have a lot to go on here. Gets a little weight allowance with the 7-pound apprentice, Jason Hueyas, aboard. We're talking about a lot of horses and some riders and some pedigrees. They might fly early in this race.
Let's go to race number 6 this afternoon. This one's going to be 5 furlongs about distance on the Tapeta for maiden claiming filly 2-year-olds. Big full field of 11 to start the late pick 5. Let's check out your ticket.
Yeah, this thing got reworked quite a bit because now the 13, Ronnie said the 13 comes into race 10, and that's a huge, and I lost my long shot late. So we'll single here with the best bet, and then we'll get a little more expansive. Queen Cupid on top in the 7th, a 4x4 interior double. Oliver or Olivier. Say that one quick, Pete. 7 or 8 times in the race. Number 7, Splicer for me. And then now, with the late scratch of the 9, Drillzilla, who was my long shot, we got to go Solaire, Ronnie, who draws into the race 7-5, I think, on the morning line, and going to be a huge, huge favorite.
Yeah, a couple of horses drawing, not only the 13 to 14, who also looks pretty good
Yes,
as far as the field goes. So make sure you check that out. Getting back to this one, Feisty Sarah is your single in here. Let's go back and take a look at Feisty Sarah. We can just pick it up at the 316 home when she floats out a little bit. She gets floated out just a little bit here and finishes second. She was even money this afternoon. So I just thought that, it was an okay performance, and she ran well. She's even money, and there you can see just seems to be bothered a little bit by this horse on the inside. I don't know how much that affected it, but, even money that afternoon, and you can see it float out once again, and just, we're going to call that race riding.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm just saying.
Nothing wrong with that at all. And, Carlos David does such a good job, but if there's one time maybe you want to try to beat him, it's with his first-time starters. And so Jorge Delgado claims this horse out of that race, and she ran very, very well. Let's take a look at a trainer stat now for Jorge Delgado. It's not a big one, but this is 4 for 6 off the claim. Oh, the trainer and the jockey, excuse me. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So when he puts Miguel on, it's go time, Ronnie. Yeah. And point being what I mentioned with the Carlos David angle, I think Carlos is about 31% second out maidens. So Feisty Sarah ran very, very well for a barn that typically doesn't crank them out of, up first asking. It's all systems go today, and I think Feisty Sarah is going to be much too good for these.
And the number 8, we both have Avatar Heroes hoping to break trouble free, hit the gate at the start, unleash that 4-wide rally to finish second, beaten ahead, going 5.5 for Victor Barboza Jr., Edgar Perez, and another, that's a daughter of Shitu, that one.
Yeah, I think she's the main danger.
Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. 7 furlongs claiming fillies 3, 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, 12-5 down to $10,000. Another full field of 9 with no scratches. And you did go with the number 10 horse in, the number 4 horse in here, excuse me, didn't flip him over. Queen Cupid, and so did I.
Oh, Queen Cupid, yeah. She's been in good form of late. She's actually going for the hat trick. And I love, we talk about this a lot, facing winners is never easy. And I love seeing a horse progress up the ladder and keep picking off spots. So we get the maiden claim and win 2 back. We go right to 20 last time, too. Could have run for 12-5, could have run for 8 or 10. We go right to 20 for Peter Waldo. She pops there. She wins easily. Onward and upward now.
Let's show you that race here. We're going to see where she closes 5 wide to score in this race. I thought it was a good performance. And there you see Queen Cupid is the number 3 and just has to, tips out here and just gets the job done in a pretty good fashion, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide is probably what it was through the stretch and just keeps coming down 5-1 that afternoon. And here you can see just cruises in the stretch and, it's basically just pumping along, good ride, and right back with Queen Cupid. Yeah. Queen Cupid for me, too. I used the 3 dignified in second, who's the only 3-time winner in the field. Hoping to find more for the stretch drive. Finished that rally in second against similar, going 6.5 for Jose Pinchin. Lionel Reyes at the top, this daughter of Uncaptured. So I always like that angle, and so do you. The only 3-time winner in the field. Just an okay second last time out.
Yeah, she's fine, and I agree. I mean, we both have strong feelings about Queen Cupid, and, this is a good betting race. It's not like Queen Cupid's going to be 7-5 driving here. I mean, she's probably going to be favored, and she should be favored, but you can go other different ways in here and Dignified. That's not a bad race she comes out of.
No, it's pretty good. So there's another horse, and use the number 8 in second, and that is Harris Indy, who's actually the morning line favorite in here.
Yeah, she's dropping in class. I think that's the big deal here, and I just think Terry Pompey is trying to find a race where she could be a little more competitive, I guess. I mean, she hasn't been betting any of her last races. Now she's dropping. You see she was in for 24 back, and that's where she probably ran, made the biggest impact, at least in terms of the betting board. You would hope you're going to see a wake up today in for 12.5.
What I like about this, you see, we both picked the 4, and after that, we're totally different,
Yeah.
except for all the way back with the 7, Arete's Chalice, which that's why you're saying it's a good betting race.
Yeah, and Arete's Chalice, to be fair, I mean, she was awesome winning last time. I don't want to speak for you, but judging that by your pick, you might think the same way. Where'd that race come from? I don't see her getting back to it.
Yeah, you just couldn't leave her off the ticket because of that performance last time out. Race number 8 is 5 furlongs on the Tapeta, maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and upward. I did go with the number 1 in here. Drew Breeze is the son of winner early sire Cajun Breeze, debuting for Ronnie Spatz, who's a solid 19% with his first-time starters, and 5 for 14 with maiden special weight starters. Gets Lasix, Edgar Perez, handling the always adventurous inside post, man.
Wow, that's the problem here. And now hearing you say this out loud, are these Saints fans maybe? Drew Brees? I didn't actually pick up on that when I was looking at this race. A gelding, by the way. I don't know if you said it or not. I'm sorry if you did.
Yeah, he's a gelding.
Yep.
No, I didn't say it, but he is.
A gelding. There's not a lot going on here. The dam was 1 for 4. It took her 4 starts to break her maiden. It's her first foal. We know Ronnie can pop 19% with first-time starters. You know what is interesting, and Edgar Perez has done a great job down here, so this is not a knock on him in the least. He doesn't ride a lot for Ron. Miguel, Vasquez is not here riding. I just wonder what we're getting today. I think this horse might be okay, but what are we getting today? And Ronnie said the rail is not good for a spot like this.
Well, the number 2 horse in here, we're going to let you take that away and see how you can pronounce this.
I think
one.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oliver or Olivier.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty good.
This is a first-time starter, so we haven't heard this yet, and we'll see what the Pete upstairs says. The dam was 1 for 5. She did win her debut, so take note of that. Third foal, none of them were much. One of them took 11 starts to break their maiden, but Joe Catanese has popped with a few like this. Luca is here. They're 18%, Ronnie. These aren't guys that win 25% of their starts. That's a pretty big number for a big sample, and the ROI is approaching $4. If this horse is bet, take note.
Number 7, Air Force Blue, is the son of Alpha Blue is the son of Air Force Blue, debuting for Safi Joseph Jr., Lasix, Lionel Reyes, named to ride. He's got another one in here, Shake Your Bones. The latter is a 210,000 gelded son of Dialed In. Just had to mention both those horses on the ticket.
Yeah, and, it's October 23rd, okay? These are 3-year-olds, so that's a little late for me. No idea what we're going to get. We'll watch the tote board here. Not a lot of pedigree. They did pay some money for the 6, Shake Your Bones.
Let's go to race number 9 this afternoon, about 1.16 on the Tapeta, claiming fillies 3 or 4 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life or a race since April 23rd. Brian, when I handicapped this race, I got my long shot in here. Emirates Affair is stretching out today to the mile and is 16th on the Tapeta and facing condition claimers today after encountering some trouble at the start in a latest sprint attempt on the Tapeta. I don't see any of the speed in here. She looks to me like maybe the controlling speed in a field where the main contenders all do their bidding from off the pace. Miguel Vasquez rides for Peter Walder. He's 20% with the stretch-out move. So I'm just going with maybe with a little bit of a speed play here.
The old send mission. I agree. I mean, she's coming out of very, very fast sprints. What are we going to get at 2 turns? She's run okay, going long before. And, Ron, this is a race that I think, I went with Splicer, who we'll talk about next. It's a race there for the taking. It's a race where you're allowed to think a little outside the box like you did.
Yeah, and you went with the number 7 Splicer. This one, Victor Barboza Jr. with Edgar Perez.
Yeah, I mean, she's logical, right? I mean, she fits as much as anybody in here. We go off the claim for a 25% claiming barn. Claudio Gonzalez had this horse. Catherine Davey had this horse. It's been a pretty popular horse at the claim box. Now going to run for the 3rd straight time for a new conditioner, and she's been in very, very good form. We're going to have to climb up the ladder today, but I don't see why she can't.
And you know, the number one, Katie's Dream Girl, is stretching out to the mile and the 16. Showed some positive late action against Tougher in the pair, going a mile 70 yards. The way I saw the race, if Emirates Affair doesn't last the whole distance, Built Reno's horse here, looks like this one could reap the spoils, you know, and just, you know, who come closing and grab whatever kind of pace is in front.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Billy back down here probably in the coming month or so. Did a really good job at the championship meet. He left a few horses down here. Katie's Dream Girl is one of them. Those are fast races that she's been coming out of for good groups at that level. There's Journey to the Moon. You see her. Obviously, you're going to see her earlier on.
Yeah, and Kega, you know, another late closing type stretches out. So I see everybody that we like comes from off the pace, except for the one horse I think might be on the lead. That was my way of handicapping the race.
Yeah, I want to quickly mention the A2. I moved her up. Rosa Star, I got her in fourth.
Oh.
She had a bad trip last time. If you want to ignore that race, her other races fit nicely with these.
Race number 10 this afternoon is 5 furlongs about distance on the Tapeta Maiden, claiming fillies and mares. And listen to Pete when he gives you the scratches in this race, because going to scratch the 1, the 11, and the 15. So both
And the 9 now, too. That's,
they took the 9 out, too. That's right. That was a late one. And the 9 is also out. So you got the 1, 9, 11, 15, 13, and 14 are going to get in and run. So make sure that you check those horses out, because Solaire and even Social Elizabeth are major players in this race. And take it away, what you saw with Solaire.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. She's 7-5 on the morning line. She's a huge, huge favorite. She really didn't do a lot of. She was okay on the dirt. Okay. Got to the Tapeta last time, was really, really good after breaking last. Jaramillo rode her in the last 2. Hopefully we break better today. There's not a lot in here, and that's why she's 7-5.
Yeah, you know, you don't see the 13 on my board. I didn't change my selections, but I added this horse after this happened to my Rainbow Six ticket, because I didn't want to get beat by it. But I still like the number 7, Spice in Your Life. It's going back to the Tapeta after following that, set the pace 4th on the all-weather surface. It comes back, tries 6 furlongs on the main track. It's Calamari. It's got Carlos Rojas' name. I think this is also a speed play for me.
Yeah, I agree. Calamari won a race the other day, right?
Yeah.
And I had this horse in second all along before my long shot scratched out. So I agree. I'm seeing, you know, we're going to show the graphics today. You got to be close sprinting on the Tapeta.
And then Rose is always right, is a new face in this category, and that's why I sort of looked at it. Debuts locally for Antonio Santos, showed speed at Evangeline Downs before going to the sidelines. You know, maybe it's a sneaky in here. Jesus Rios rides. It's certainly an unknown quantity.
No doubt about that. And we don't see too many Evangeline horses popping in here. And Antonio, we know how good a job he does. So you got speed in here on your side.
That wraps up the 10 races, but we're not quite done. We got our lightning round. And what better way to start it off with a horse that loves the Tapeta, and that is Seat Trident.
4 in a row for C. Trident off the Claudio Gonzalez claim, and Claudio's not dipping him back in the claiming race anytime soon. You're going to see it here. Not only has he won 4 in a row, but he's just done it in very impressive fashion, too. They haven't really been close to him.
And, yeah, he was performance. He just keeps winning 1-2 that day, and rightly so. Yesterday, that is actually. So a good performance once again. Yeah, you just got to give these horses credit. They're just hard-knocking campaigners.
I think that's a really good point, because I don't think these kind of horses get that kind of credit like they do. These are the cookie-cutter horses day in and day out that fill racing programs across the country. They deserve a little golf clap.
And your best bet today?
My best bet today, I'm going to put it up. It's escaped me. Oh, that's right. Feisty Sarah off the claim for Jorge Delgado.
And my best bet comes in race number 5. It is the 2 Drop Kick Murphy. Taking a little bit of a shot for the first time starter, but I love the connections in there. My long shot did not get scratched, and it's that speed play in here. Emirates Affair, I think it is. And we'll see how that horse runs. And race number 9, see if we can steal that one on the front end. But, boy, we had some nice action going on in Maryland yesterday.
Yeah, the boys in the office were up at Maryland on the Maryland Million card. 8 stakes yesterday. Of course, the highlight, the Maryland Million Classic, and Our Nation on Parade was claimed in his last start for $50,000 and parlays that here into a big score up at Maryland.
Yeah, he was the 2-1 favorite, and this horse just won by about 6 lengths in the race, so it was a very good performance. And, you know, then they have, talking about we have our favorites down there, they certainly have a favorite up there in Maryland.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. 6 in a row now for the love of bourbon. And, sprinters, this is a sprinter, too. And that's even harder, I think, Ron, because, obviously when you're a sprinter, if you break slow or you have a trip, it's tough to win 6 in a row. I got a feeling that's Paco there riding, right?
Yeah, you would think that might be
so.
Paco running that 6 in a row, and very nicely named with For the Love of Burden, at least as far as Brian's concerned. So good luck with all your picks. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello with the scratches, jockey changes, and we'll be here all Sunday afternoon. Boy, is it nice in South Florida. Good luck.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.